So magnets are objects that will deform the model based on an area of influence in various settings. Magnets are tied to a morph, so you can't have magnets in your file without first creating a morph. As you can see here, I have this tutorial dress morph, and then I have a list of magnets. If I was to turn the magnets off, you can see that tutorial dress then just looks like the base shape. So the workflow is first turn on morph mode, create a morph, then turn on magnets, and then you can start creating magnets and then move them around and adjust them to get the results that you desire. So I'll just start here. I'll come back to apply show fall off. Just means it'll show as you move a magnet. It'll show which vertices are being affected by that magnet. This one you can see a little better. Yeah. So you can see as I move it closer, this grows and moves. As I move further away, the vertices that it affects lessens. So you can turn show fall off if you don't want to see it, or you can turn it back on. Add will add a new magnet, and it selects it, so you can just grab the handle. You can also select them in the list. Sometimes it may be easier to get a hold of them that way. So none will uncheck all the magnets. This doesn't turn them off, it just hides their display, which may make it easier for you to look at the model without having all the magnets floating. All will check them all again. Of course, you can hide each one individually. Delete will just delete the magnet. So disable all will actually turn off the magnet's effect, and enable all will turn them all back on. You can enable or disable them individually using the enabled checkbox down here. Duplicate will let you duplicate a magnet, and it selects it automatically. This is probably the main way that I create magnets, especially if you're working in an area. So if I was working in this area here at the belt, I would probably just keep duplicating magnets and tweaking them. Fall off controls how far from the magnet the mesh will still be affected. So it's basically, so you can increase it, as you can see here. As I increase the fall off amount, more vertices are being highlighted, showing that it's going to affect a larger area. Basically adjust the fall off rate. Strength basically controls how hard the magnet will pull the mesh, and you'll want this to be positive or negative depending whether you want it to push or pull. The axis determines the direction the magnet pushes or pulls. and the options are X, Y, Z, and inflate. So this one is Z. X, you can see it pushes to the side, and Y is up and down. Inflate expands the area of influence in all directions. Let me make that positive. It's a little easier to see what it's doing. So it's almost like a bubble or a balloon. So it's kind of inflating. Symmetry. With symmetry on, it'll affect both sides of the mesh equally. So you can turn it. If I turn that off, you can see it stops. Let me increase it to make it more visible. So you can see what happens as I toggle that. And enabled, we'll just turn it off or turn it on. We also have these limits. So with the limits, just determine areas that it won't affect or will affect. So you could say behind, for example, means that it'll only affect vertices that are behind the actual position of the magnet. Or you can say just the ones that are in front. And of course we have others like above, below, left, and right. So these limits just give you more control over how the magnet will affect the mesh.